Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very special episode of Live with Lunascent. Today, my co host is Dr. Barbara Paldis, founder of Codex Labs, and I am going to hopefully let her join. Um, Let me see if Dr. Paldis can join us. I am going to also go live on Instagram. And great, we are live on Instagram. And Dr. Paldis, you also have to go live on Instagram as well when you join. So let me see. And yes, we have a very, very special show today. And also, as you can see, I have pinned it to the page. We have very special giveaway and deals, exclusive deals for our live. One of them is Luna 25, and you will get a 25% discount off of all the Lunasm products that are featured today on the live. And Dr. Paldis has kindly given us another discount, which is her code is reset, and that's 20% off of all Codex Labs products that you can use. And that code, I believe, will be valid for another week. And also, we have a special giveaway, which is a bundle of over $450 in value. And that is the 1 month shunt system from Codex Labs. That's a $400 value. That's just an amazing system for anyone who suffers from acne, and a deluxe gift box and luxury box from Dunessent with the applicator. So that's a $450 bundle. I'm hoping that Dr. Paldis can join. You have to request to join. So let me see where we are, if she is joining us. And great. I don't see her, so I'm trying to. If Dr. Paldis, if you are having an issue, if you can please email me so we can troubleshoot that. But so just while we're waiting for Dr. Paldis to join, I'm going to showcase some of the products that we have here. Actually, this one, which is a bundle of our carry case and our applicator, will also have, which is already reduced, as you can see, will have 25% off today for this live, which makes it way more than 25% discount. So the bundles are actually very good deals if you want to take advantage of it today. And let me see. I am trying to see where Dr. Paldis is. I might have to, let me check my email here to make sure they're not having any issues. I don't know what's going on. So what we are going to discuss today is we are going to talk about skin, gut, and brain microbiome, which is really these microbiomes work together for the health of our skin. And the topic of our conversation today is, can we actually reset our skin microbiome for healthier skin? And I might have to go off for a second and see if I can come back so I can have Dr. Paldis join us. I don't know what's happening. I'm on because I am doing this on my phone, I have do not disturb. So Dr. Pauldus is joining us with Nina, who is helping with this live show. So if there are any issues in terms of joining, please email me, because I have my phone on do not disturb and cannot see my messages on my phone. So I would appreciate an email trying to figure out and troubleshoot. You are live on Instagram. Oh, I see. But you have to be joining us from the Channelize app. Yes, you're live on Instagram, but you have to channel it. Oh, here you are. Yay. Hey, hi.
Hi, sorry, it was telling me it was tomorrow. Sorry about this.
Oh, no. Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm glad to see you. And I was trying to kill time while you joined us. And I'm thrilled to have you today, Dr. Pauldus. I was trying to do an introduction. You are the founder of Codex Labs. You're also a Bay Area scientist, local, and I believe you have more than 50 patents to your name. You are a polyglot, because everywhere you go, every event we are, you can 10 different languages. Anyone who comes to the booth, you're speaking with them in their language, which is just amazing. I love seeing that. And you're just overall just an amazing human being. And I'm so thrilled to have you on our show today. So, as I was explaining, we do have a very special giveaway today, which you have kindly offered a 1 month supply of Shant system, which is a $400 value. And I would love for you to, if you could just quickly explain what that is.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about this system today, Rana. This is our new probiotic serum, which is now generally available, and it's for acne and rosacea. And what it does is it basically allows you to shift the microbiome on your skin. And so what's really important is that it be used with cosmetics, other products, a face wash, a toner, spot treatments that are also microbiome friendly. And that's why in this offer, we're actually offering a 2 month supply of a face wash, of a spot treatment, of a toner. So basically these 3 additional products. And then because acne also is in the, oh, no one can hear me. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I can hear you, but
So I shared my microphone and I shared my camera.
they cannot hear us. Okay. Oh, this is Michelle. Michelle, thank you for joining us, Michelle Montaz. So I don't. Thank you for letting us that you can't hear. Michelle? Can you hear me? If you can, let us know if you can hear me. Let me make sure that people can hear me. And okay, so she can hear me, but Dr. Pauldus, she can hear you. So you are live on Instagram, and now you joined through Channelize.
Oh, I need to be also live on Instagram? Okay, that's probably why. So hold on, one step. Okay, should I get off of Channelize and join?
No, you don't need to. Just go where you got the stream keys. You can basically just say go live on Instagram as well.
Hold on.
So Nina should be able to. I explained to her she can when we go live on Channelize, actually on Instagram, you're able to go live. So
how do I just go live like directly on the Codex?
No, so you go to the plus sign.
Yep.
And are live. You should also be simultaneously. Wait, so Nina told me that you were already live on Instagram.
No, I wasn't. I mean,
So
I'm logged into Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, these are just stories. So hold on.
So it's when you go to the plus sign, then oh Michelle, so in order for you to hear us, maybe you should join through my go to my website and go to live shopping. That's where everything is. So if you want to join us from there, you can also join us from there. That way you should be able to hear. And let me know, please, Michelle, if you are able to hear us through the website. Um, so that's another way. Yeah, so Michelle's going to check that. Dr. Pauldis?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So let me see. If I go to the plus sign, then I can go live on Instagram.
But you need to go live to the same stream key and RTMP that was sent to me, which is simulcasting this show right now on Instagram. So
Got
people on Instagram, like Michelle, can see us, but you haven't hit go live, which is the original thing that Nina, I was explaining to her. When
Oh,
we go
Nina
live,
said that we're live on Instagram. So I'm not sure then.
you are live on Instagram,
So Nina wrote that we're live on Instagram. Yeah.
but and can she hear you?
Let me email her.
Yeah, that's that's the question. Because you are frozen right now on our Channelize. Have you gone off Channelize?
Yeah, I went off of Channelize to get into Instagram. So hold
Okay.
on. I'm back on Channelize. So I'm back on Channelize, so I should be live here. Yeah.
Okay. So we're trying to make sure we have the actual video at the end, and we can edit some of the trying to get the logistics
Yes.
of the thing out. So hopefully we can cut those out. But so Michelle was gonna go. I can see and hear her now. Yay! Okay, I think she is on our website now, and she can both hear and see you.
Excellent.
So, and hopefully it will also be on Instagram. So, so great. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for being our checking all of our stuff here. So, Dr. Paulus, today our topic, again, as we said, is can we actually reset our skin microbiome for healthier skin? And one of the things that I love about your brand and the way you approach skin irritation, acne, psoriasis, all those eczema is the connection between skin, gut, and brain microbiome. And how these microbiomes work together, whether we have healthy skin or whether we have irritation. And I would love for you to expand on that if possible.
Sure. So microbiome is one of my favorite topics, Rana. And it's basically a complex community. Bacteria, fungi, viruses, yeasts, and then things like archaea that people may not have heard of, or molds. And they're present in significant numbers on our skin and in our stomach. So call it 1 to 100 trillion microorganisms. So when you think about it, most of our genetic material is actually our microbiome, not our human cells. And these microbes basically play very, very key roles, not just balancing or driving the biochemical processes in our body, but helping our digestion. So, for example, we have microbiomes in our mouth, in our gut, in our lungs. They recently found a microbiome in our brain. And then external microbiomes, like on our skin, and it's different between our face and our armpits and our hands and our body. We obviously have a vaginal microbiome in women. And so they're basically everywhere. And what's fascinating to me is how these microbiomes, the different species that comprise these microbiomes are different. Obviously, inside our gut, we have the richest microbiome because it's a nice protected space, right? The temperature is the same, because our body regulates our temperature versus on the skin, right? If we go outside, it can be hot, it can be cold, it can be humid, it can be dry. And also in the gut, the microbiome gets plenty of nutrients and things to eat because that's all the food, right? That's passing through our system. It's the same with our mouth. Versus on the skin, they're pretty much living off of our skin sebum and whatever else they can find and scavenge on the skin. Now, what's interesting about our skin microbiome is that we get it at birth. So if we have a vaginal birth or if we have a C-section birth, the microbiome, the skin microbiome of the babies is very different. And these are the first colonizing microbes. And the thing to remember is our immune system, about 80% of our immune system comes from the gut. And so these microbes start training our immune system from the moment that we're born. We may inherit a lot of it from our mom again. And they also alert our body if there are pathogens or viruses or an infection. And so what's interesting is when we're born, that microbiome evolves kind of through puberty into adulthood. And then we keep that microbiome for a long time. But then as also we age, so kind of in menopause and past menopause, that microbiome shifts again to the final microbiome that we're going to have in our old age that's kind of going to be with us. And those microbiomes from, say, a babies, an adults, and a person, say, in their 70s are going to be fairly different. And I would say on human skin, there's probably, 1,000 species, which still is a lot. And most of them are found on our epidermis, so that's the outer layer of our skin, and our hair follicles, which is what causes acne. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. And so I would say, what does the microbiome help us do? Well, it's important to maintain our skin barrier. So we don't want things from the outside going into our body, right? Allergens, pollution, infections. It actually plays a role in skin hydration. And as I said, it kind of protects us, and it does take a hit when we get UV radiation. The microbiome definitely takes a hit because it's on the outside. So they're very, very important. Whereas in our gut, they basically also protect us against infections, but they also break down our food, and many of them manufacture vitamins. And so our gut microbiome is as important as our skin microbiome.
So, I actually, this is all really, truly very fascinating. And we've had conversations about this before. So, I read an article that was saying we're actually more microbial weight than human. Like there's more microbial cells. And I was like, it's kind of when you think about that. Another thing that you mentioned is the microbiomes in the gut. So that's why nutrition is so important and a variety of what we eat, because that's how we nourish the good microbiomes in our gut. And if we have a very limited diet, I kind of like it's like they're starved, right? They're not getting a full nutritional thing that they need. And so it's really important to have a healthy, and that's why people who only deal with acne topically, there is also this element of working from the inside to address acne. And I think that's what you are doing.
Exactly. So there's not just the gut part. In acne, it's more complicated because there's also the hormones, right? And so
Yeah.
there's also the hormonal shifts, which come from the inside. Uh,
Yes.
but then what we eat creates cholesterol, and the cholesterol is the precursor to the hormones. So I guess in a way, what we eat is also a precursor. Stress, which is the whole psychological component of it, the hormone cortisol, can also be a precursor. And so all of these different hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, but then obviously DHT, those can all then affect how oily our skin gets, how clogged our pores get, how much the acne bacteria basically can colonize the hair follicle. If the hair follicle is plugged, and we're producing a lot of sebum, like a lot of that skin oil inside the hair follicle, the acne bacteria are like party. We've got food, we've got a great environment, and so they just exponentially grow.
Oh my
We
gosh.
start seeing the pimple, right? That's when we start seeing that white kind of and yellowy and green pimple, and it just keeps growing. And that's where we're told, don't pop it, like let it heal naturally. And so this is where, again, if we have too much acne bacteria, we want to, again, shift the microbiome, because there's other species like S. epidermidis, which help keep the acne in check. And so again, the microbiome's like the system where the different bacteria keep each other in check. And not all acne bacteria are bad. Like there's probably about 6 different strains of acne bacteria, and some are the inflammatory acne bacteria, but the other acne bacteria are just fine. So again, it's all this equilibrium. And we want to keep clean, but we don't want to keep too clean. And so I mean, yes, in terms of, oily and junk food, if we eat a lot of sugar or we eat a lot of fatty food, like fried food, right? Like teenagers, how do you keep them from eating fast food? How do you eat them from eating Doritos? How do you eat them from eating a lot of chocolate? Because chocolate makes people feel good. All of that can then have an impact on the gut microbiome, can drive inflammation in the body, can affect hormone production. You couple that to stress, you couple that to homework, lack of sleep, and you kind of have the perfect internal storm for breaking out.
So I think what we want people to understand is that when it comes to body, it's a holistic thing. It's not things are being done in isolation. You can't say, oh, I'm just going to do this and suddenly everything else is fixed. It's like everything is interrelated. It's like a machine. And I just like, I'm a little frustrated when I see people just say, oh, you do this. And then it's like, no, there is a lot more that goes into it, because everything with our bodies, again, it's like a whole ecosystem, right?
Exactly.
And
And like the acne bacteria, they'll act one way if they have oxygen, like they're exposed to air, and they'll act differently if they're not exposed to air because they're in this plug pimple. And so basically, the acne can also act as an anaerobe, and then they use basically a protease to extract amino acids from the skin proteins and a lipase to degrade basically the triglyceride lipids in our skin oil. And that releases the free fatty acids that lets them stick. So basically, that basically sticks to the skin or the inside of the pores. And so those who have oilier skin, for example, tend to have a greater abundance of acne bacteria, and that tends to then increase the risk of developing pimples. But then not all people with oily skin get breakouts. So this is where acne is actually very, very complicated in what you eat and how you cleanse your skin.
and
You don't want to strip the skin, because if you're stripping it all the time with harsh cleansers, you're taking all the skin oil off, you're going to get dehydrated, your skin barrier is going to get inflamed, and you might get red bumps, which are not acne but are still basically your skin barrier saying that it's not happy. It's like an eruption of the skin barrier. So we have to be very careful, and I think that's where how we clean, how we apply our products makes a difference. And certainly if you're talking about microbiome changing, like changing that microbiome away from the C. acnes, that applicator becomes very important. Like how you put it on your skin becomes very important. And so, Rana, what I always say, it's a very complex system, but the devil's in the details. Some people say God is in the details, but basically your success rate is in the details.
I would like to, at this point, say like how we met. So the reason I think we have, well, from at least on my side, I feel so connected with you is exactly what you said, because I think that it's really important to. I'm a very detail oriented person, but the way we met was we were at an event and we were actually both speakers. We were going to go on stage, and we were in line to go on the stage, and we started talking to each other, and we found out that we both created our products for our sons. So that was like quite a moment, because for me, it came out of a personal need. My story, my son had severe eczema, and I had to apply the steroidal cream, which I wish I knew about your products back then.
Well, they didn't.
I would have never gone that route, but at that point, unfortunately, I didn't know, and didn't know steroid, actually, one of the things it does, beside all the other harm it has, is that it thins your skin through repeated use. And I developed dermatitis applying it to him, and I realized I am absorbing as much as him this medication, and I had no way of applying it without getting my hands involved. And that's how the tool came about, something that is hygienic, reusable, non-porous. And with your products, which are probiotic forward, they are they're very finicky, they are degradable. So the delivery method becomes very important instead of our fingers. And people say, but I like using my fingers. No one said don't ever use your fingers. But this is a delivery method for putting that product on your face without the waste, without the germs and bacteria, and without degrading the active ingredients that are in the product, because you want to get the full benefit of that product. You don't want to degrade it, of course, right? And so this is how we connected, and this is how we continue to work together. And thank you. I know that one of the things that you have done is you have brought luminescent as a delivery method for your especially acne oriented products, and I would love for you to tell us why and how.
So, since we're talking about acne and we're talking about changing the microbiome and we're talking about moving it away from acne, and just for those of you who are interested in total skin nerds, it's the 1A1 strain of acne. That's the one that's inflammatory, and that dermatologists have correlated with the probability of having acne. And people, for example, since we were talking about food, is, some people may respond to vitamin B12 supplementation, some people don't. And so again, if you have the acne, that strain of acne, it will cause the inflammation in the pores. But if you're looking at a probiotic, so in this case, it's been lyophilized. So basically, we've powdered it so that it can survive longer periods of time. We do keep these refrigerated. So when you do get it, you need to keep it in your refrigerator until you use it up. But if you can see, like, there's just a tiny amount, right? Like this is a syringe and there's a tiny amount
very small
in there, right?
Yes.
So the way we activate it is you take water, drinking water is perfectly fine. And then you add 2 milliliters of this product into the water. And so you take we basically give you a second syringe. And people will start understanding why it's important that you not just use your fingers. So they'll see how much product is kind of made, and you do this every other day because you want it to be fresh. You want it to be alive. So you basically take 2 milliliters. So I'm going to basically take my water and I'm going to put 2 milliliters into this syringe. And we're also teaching you how to use the product. So for the winner, this is actually how you're going to use the product. So here we go. So I'm going to get the bubble out. So I've got 2 milliliters here in this syringe. So you can see 2 milliliters.
Yes. So, and this is freshly made, so live probiotics in there.
So now I'm going to attach a connector to the syringe like that.
Yes.
And then I'm going to take the cap off here. So you can see I've removed the cap.
Right.
I'm going to basically put the other end of the connector. So now I have this connector here, and I'm going to kind of gently put the water, and I'm going to pull the water from one end.
I love this. This is like a science experiment.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to mix these two, so you kind of move the syringes back and forth. And this is how you actually mix the lactobacillus, and this is kind of how you activate it.
And Michelle says this is so fascinating. Yes.
That's right. So we also have, hyaluronic acid in here because a lot of people with acne tend to have dry skin. And so what you might be seeing is now this serum is forming, and you do this back and forth, maybe 30 times like this. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And what you then end up with is 1 milliliter. So I'm going to kind of equally divide it. So it's basically 1 milliliter in each. And so basically when you're done, this is your first day dose. Mm-hmm. And you put a cap on the syringe for the second day. You put that in the fridge. So basically, if you're doing backne, or if you have acne here or your whole face, this isn't that much product, Rana. So you need the applicator to really get it everywhere in the most efficient way. If I just put this on my hand,
it all goes into your hands. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's amazing. I actually had one of these stories that was shared with me is exactly about medication, which is someone who had luminescent with them. They were traveling and they were diagnosed with shingles. And because they were overseas, they went to the emergency room and they gave them a small tube of the cream that they need to put on the sores. And she had 1 month left, a tiny tube. She said it was a miracle. She was able to extend that for the entire trip, even though she had a very long area to cover. But that is exactly what this applicator does. it saves product, not in the sense that you use less, but also, as we discussed, in terms of contamination, which can then lead to degradation of active ingredients. So I'm
And
going to
we
bring
say
us.
basically clean your face, put this on, do this in the evening before you go to bed. Clean your face first and then apply the serum and then let it dry. So the last thing you want to do then is use dirty fingers on a clean face to apply probiotic serum,
Right.
because the stuff on your fingers might have other microbes.
Yes.
And here you're trying to shift your microbiome with this pure Lactobacillus plantarum probiotic serum. So it's really important to use the applicator and to keep the applicator clean.
And do you also, does this system, this is the topical, does it have a what is the other aspect that is part of?
So the topical, we actually give people a face scrub.
Yes.
So microbiome friendly face scrub with actually 2% salicylic acid.
Let me tell everyone, you have given us a code of reset, which is 20% off of all skin Codex Labs products for a full week, correct?
Actually, basically for 2 months, because when you're getting to see the results. And then we basically have this. This is the toner. This is actually not just like a regular water toner. This is more like a gel toner. This also has witch hazel in it. And you'll see, I'll put it on my hand, but you'll kind of see it doesn't really drip off. It's a gel cleanser. So if you put it on the applicator,
yes,
you can get a really nice, smooth, even application of the toner.
right, right.
The pores clean during the day. So basically, you wash in the morning, you put the toner on, you wash in the evening, then you put the serum on, the probiotic serum, and then we're basically also providing, a spot treatment. This has sulfur. This is different than benzoyl peroxide because, again, we want to dry out the pimple. But it also has green tea and it has fruit acids to turn over that zit skin so that you don't get pitting and you don't get scarring after the pimple. And then we can combine it depending on, the winner. They can tell us where their acne is. So if it's on their cheeks and their forehead, that's usually associated with the gut. And there we'll provide the probiotic for 2 months. So it's basically 2 capsules a day, 20 minutes before you eat. And that has Google, which actually helps regulate cholesterol.
Yes.
Has green tea, which reduces inflammation. And then it has the bacterial strains to basically reset and reduce the inflammation. In this case, there's like 3, they're called cytokines. So they're like the inflammatory molecule markers that your body uses to communicate. And for acne, it's TNF alpha, called tumor necrosis factor alpha, IL-6, and IL-8. And what's interesting is the serum reduces those inflammatory markers on the outside, and the probiotic reduces them from the inside. So that basically helps your acne clear faster. If you have hormonal acne, so that's usually on the chin and the jaw, then instead of that, we'll basically give you our cortisol reducing and our hormone balancing skin de-stress supplement. So it just depends on if the winner has hormonal acne or more traditional acne.
So I want to say something about Codex Labs here is that a lot of skincare brands, there's a lot of claims out there. But what I love about Codex Labs is slide after slide of clinical data. For every claim she makes about a product, she has clinical data to show what that product is doing, the improvement, how skin started, what happened after using this product. And I believe you can access, are these like anywhere on your, I don't think they're hidden. They can access.
No, if you actually,
someone wants to get into the nitty gritty.
yeah, if you go to our website and you scroll down on the product page, we'll give you the clinical data from the trials, but also we will give you, there's usually a reference link that you can either cut and paste or go to directly of the publication where we published that data. So most of our data is published already, and you can look up the paper, like the actual paper, online directly.
And I really think that is really important for consumers because they want to, it gives them that peace of mind that when someone is making a claim, they have the clinical data behind it. And that is really important to me, and I know to a lot of people. Um, so, one of the things that I wanted to discuss, we did talk about the bacteria, why, like, it's different on different parts of the skin. And as we go through life, you did explain childhood, teenager, when we're teenagers, adulthood, our microbiome changes. And so you have different needs in terms of cleansing. Again, as Dr. Apalda said, please do not go overboard, because you have oily skin. It actually backfires if you do too much of harsh cleaning, you do too much scrubbing. I see so many devices out there that are actually going to strip your skin. They are going to damage your barrier, your skin barrier. So just go gentle. You do not need to go overboard, because it can backfire. One of the
And,
things
and
that
I'm used to that squeaky clean feeling, like where you feel like your whole face is completely
it's
tight.
being pulled.
That's actually your skin barrier and your nerves in your skin going, wait a second, you dehydrated me. What have you done? But we're so used to being told, like I was always told by my mom, like the more you scrub and the more you use,
Yes,
you
yes.
that
It's,
squeak.
it is to some extent counterintuitive, right? We think we have oil, we want to remove that. But that's because those natural oils, as you explained, with the sebum, with the everything, is actually needed for the hydration, for the balancing the pH on the skin. So all of that is important. You don't want to disturb it too much.
Well, you don't want to remove all the oil. Like if you're very, very oily, you might
Yeah,
remove
no,
40%. You might,
exactly. That's exactly right. That's
but you
exactly
still want to leave enough, because then when the skin gets dehydrated, it starts aging, right? Basically, you dehydrate it, you
right.
create oxidative stress, and
Right.
then oxidative stress starts attacking your collagen. And the last thing you want to do is lose your collagen, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Michelle says agreed. Well, you're on board, Michelle. Wonderful. So, she says, I heard that cleanser are meant to be massaged into the skin for a whole minute. What do you think? I actually wanted to talk about your product, because in our household, we use the cleanser with the massaging pad of Lunescent. So, because it is very soft and gentle, and it allows for the product to actually get in there and do its thing. Michelle is asking for a whole minute. I think it depends on how effective you're being with your wash. There is no maybe magic number, but as long as you are really getting the product effectively in all the areas of the skin to remove that extra oil, as you explained, because your products, I never feel like my face is stripped afterwards. I don't feel tight. I don't feel like and another thing is shininess. If you're too shiny after, like, that is another sign that you're overdoing it. If you're using too many actives, retin A, vitamin C, you need to give your skin a break to heal itself, to repair. And those are good, but doing more, sometimes people think, oh, vitamin C is good or retin A is good, I'm going to do more. That can actually
Less is more.
damage.
Less is more. Yep. And regarding the massaging, so for example, if you have a face scrub, and in all of our face scrubs, we use hydrolyzed jojoba oil. So they're basically just, you can think of them as little spears of jojoba oil. They're super gentle, so you can massage it. And in fact, it's good because what you're doing is you're removing those dead cells, that kind of dead layer of skin. And so that then allows you to absorb the actives more rapidly.
Yes.
So yes, you can massage it. I think the applicator is great for massaging. It's also self-soothing. Like there's just something about, making yourself feel
Like
more
that
comfortable.
moment, it's like a little self-care moment. One of the things, I have this little show and tell thing that I take to people, to events with me, but one of the tools out there are these like face wash things that have these short bristles, and then like a soft bristly thing. And I explain to people that the bristles actually accumulate product, and there is no way you can get to the base of the brush to clean it. So that's where germs and bacteria grow and actually put bacteria back on your skin, which is exactly the opposite of what you want to do. And with these bristles, I mean, good luck cleaning that to be a hygienic tool. There is no way. And the way we designed Lunescent was to actually I tell people this is the third iteration. The first iteration of the bumps was too close, where product would actually accumulate between the bumps. I wanted it for it to still be effective in terms of exfoliation and cleansing, but not close enough where product would accumulate and you could just wipe it clean with soap and water, or if you're traveling with, hand sanitizer or alcohol. So there are a couple of I'm enjoying talking to you so much. For like, wow, we are running out of time. Not that much, but there are a couple of things I want to get to. One is that uh, you said everyone has bacteria on our skin,
And they're good.
and
Most
they're
of
good.
it is commensal. Yeah.
And then when you said why some people have acne, and as opposed to why some people don't have acne, we all have bacteria. I believe I want you to expand on that, but it's the balance of everything in our bodies, right?
The balance of everything, and it's also how much skin oil you're producing, which can depend on hormones. It can depend on your diet. So it depends how much you're feeding these bacteria. And it also depends on how much inflammation you have in your body, because again, the inflammation may drive your hair follicles to produce more sebum. And so basically, what we're trying to do here is kind of reduce that inflammatory cascade, and we're also trying to reduce lipid production in the hair follicles from the sebocytes. And so basically, we're trying to regulate it both from the inside and the outside, and then just shift your microbiome in favor of the really, the commensal bacteria like S. epidermidis and the Lactobacillus plantarum. It's already a natural part of your microbiome. So it's already there on your skin. So we're not actually putting something on your skin that isn't actually already there. We're just enhancing it a little bit so it can shift that balance away from the acne bacteria. And so when you think about, even in the gut, well, what have we used plantarum for? Well, Lactobacillus plantarum is what we've used to basically brine olives or make sourdough bread or ferment fruits and vegetables, and also cheese.
Yeah, cheese, yogurt.
We've been eating for 4,000 years.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you could eat the probiotic serum and nothing would happen to you. It's completely safe. We actually joke that, you can eat any of our products and it won't harm you in any way.
Well, I had the drinks you were preparing at one of the events, and they're delicious. So, so they are wonderful, and they help to regulate the microbiome, which I think is really important. One of the things I believe, maybe you're the scientist and you can tell me about this, is sugar. I believe sugar feeds the bad ones. Is that correct?
So again, it depends how much sugar, right? And
The overdoing it, right?
absorbs the sugar, because if you have sugar, then if it gets into your bloodstream really quickly, then it can cause an insulin spike, and then the insulin spike can lead to inflammation.
I see.
So again, it's done through basically the insulin, which is why we have another supplement where we're trying to reduce those insulin spikes to reduce overall inflammation, both in the gut and in the body, for inflammatory conditions like eczema or psoriasis or rosacea. So basically, sugar by itself, again, is not bad. It's too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
When you overeat sugar. And it also, it's not just the blood sugar level, but it's the insulin response. And then, again, if you have huge and high consistent levels of sugar because you're diabetic, then, that can increase fat accumulation and inflammation in the liver. It can raise blood pressure, cholesterol. So again, but, a little bit of sugar, some honey in your tea, or
Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course. Of course.
of cake now and then. Like, honestly, we've got to live too, right, Rana?
Well, the thing is, it again comes down to that balance, right? It's when things are out of balance that the problems arise and things go awry. So it's just that if we do everything exactly what you said, if you're living a balanced life and diet, really, it helps with a lot of things that are created because of that imbalance. Even as you discussed originally, the imbalance of the microbiome in our gut on the skin based on what we're doing to the surface of the skin can lead to irritation. What about the brain? We haven't discussed the brain part.
So brain is the stress, and the stress is cortisol, and cortisol is the stress hormone, and then cortisol can evolve again into androgens, and then the androgens trigger your hair follicles to produce more skin oil, so you're back to that kind of acne cycle. It can also trigger inflammation, and so it just goes back to priming your body to um, grow the acne bacteria and give the acne bacteria that environment that they like, that kind of blocked pore with the anaerobic environment, no oxygen in there, where they can multiply, they can, break things down, cause more inflammation. And so it's really about not preventing that environment, whether that's through the right cleansing, keeping your skin barrier hydrated to reduce the inflammation, the right diet, getting enough sleep, getting exercise. And again, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete here. If you go for a very brisk walk for half an hour every day, rather than being sedentary, you're already way, way, way ahead, right? If you eat a plate which is colorful, this is what I tell my son, just try to have some red and green and yellow on there, of plant-based materials, try to have some fiber from something, you're already way ahead, right?
Correct.
If you're just eating, processed food all the time. So, and everything in moderation. I mean, you don't have to, I know we've been reading papers about any amount of alcohol is bad, but, a glass of wine now and then, is not going to kill anybody.
Well,
A piece
feel
of cake now and then is not.
relaxation is important because exactly what you said. Yes, alcohol by itself is not a good thing for our body, but also, again, it comes to that concept of a holistic living, right? It's not, you can't just say, oh, I am going to cut everything that might give me a social moment that I might be able to sit down and relax for a second. I'm going to take that away because I want to address a certain thing. Then you are again out of balance because you're feeling stressed. You're not hanging out with your friends. You're not getting that community feeling. All of that. Maybe when community changes as a whole and we can like do some sort of dance instead of drinking alcohol, maybe we'll all do that. But but right now we are not there. But I think it's important that we all kind of make sure that we respect our bodies as the machine and the system, amazing system that it is.
And everything in
That
moderation, right? Michelle wrote, too much water can be bad. Yeah, if you drink too much water, you can dilute all the electrolytes and your body will stop working and you'll die.
exactly.
The dose is the poison. So again, everything in moderation and attention to detail, and that's where the applicator for me comes in is, if you have something that's like a highly specialized product, like the acne serum, treat it with respect and use the right tool, use the right tool to apply it. Use the right tool then to wash your face. Use the right tool, if you don't want to touch, as you said, medicated products, respect your body and respect the tools you have for your health.
And again, even traveling. I mean, when we travel, there's a lot of things that are thrown out of balance, right? So the jet lag, the time difference, the dehydration on the plane. One of the things that I love about Lunescent is how travel friendly it is. So you have this tool that is clean, you can carry with you. You can apply hydration during and this is not one of the things we want to talk about is just that the applicator is not just for medication or for acne. It can be used with any of Codex Labs products. If any of the products, I use it for my moisturizer. I use it for my Bia oil. I use it for everything where I want to get the benefit of every drop. And when you're on the plane, the plane surfaces are not clean. So instead of keep getting up and washing your hands and you have a clean applicator that you can just have with you and apply your hydration, your moisturizer, your sunscreen. One of the things that we holistically we need to do, unfortunately, because of the UV rays is, after everything we do have to reapply sunscreen. And most people think you apply once in the morning you're good to go. Unfortunately, sunscreen, loses potency, so you have to reapply. And sunscreen is hard to apply. You get stains on your clothing, you get greasy fingers. So this is a way that allows you that freedom of being able to reapply without the downside of getting, all that stuff on your fingers. So please make sure to take advantage of Dr. Paulus's amazing code reset. You can get 20% off. For our products, it's Luna25. You get 25% off of the featured products that are on this live. So some of the bundles, I love the bundles, Dr. Paulus, because you can have one in the car and you can have one in the house. And that way you don't have to take it in and out. And so you can just have its own dedicated one. And it's really, and the bundle with the carry case is really also helpful if you're traveling, if you want to have one in the car. And some people keep it in the Ziploc bag, which more power to them. That is great. They do that, and then after a while they're like, I'm tired of doing that, it gets messy, send me a carry case, because the carry case is really nice. It has a little mirror in it that you can use to apply, and it's just more, and you can wash it, you can soap and water, and you can alcohol this and get it clean. Everything with our products, we're both moms, and we wanted stuff that was eco-conscious, eco-friendly, reusable for my product at least, and sustainable. And we wanted to be able to provide a benefit without taking away too much. Even
Easy
like
to use. Easy to use. Don't forget.
easy to use and
easy
easy
to clean.
easy to clean. So I have these little applicators. I don't spray bottles that I have to send you one, Dr. Paulus. So it's just I fill it with isopropyl alcohol. So when I'm traveling or I'm in the car, I just spray the path and just wipe it clean. So that way it's just, I never have to worry about whether the applicator is not clean or not. So yes, yeah, the case is so important. Yeah, Michelle, thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. And Dr. Paulus, is there anything else about the Shant system that our audience should know about?
Just patience. It does take 60 days to make a significant difference in the acne. It will clear your acne by about 60 to 80%, but it does take 2 months. So, assuming, I put it on and in 2 days I'm clear, your body doesn't work that way. Your skin barrier doesn't reset itself that way, that quickly. Your gut doesn't reset itself that quickly. So just patience.
Yes.
Consistency.
Yes.
And then I just wanted to add, for eczema or other conditions, this is also great for applying, whether it's a lotion that's an anti-itch lotion, or it's basically for scrubbing plaques very gently with the body scrub. It's basically a universal tool that fits, as you said, Rana, all of the Codex products very well. And that actually, helps you save product. I mean, it's the most efficient way of applying the least amount of product for the maximum amount of benefit.
And I love the white applicator. I love the way it looks. It looks so clean and clinical and beautiful. And I saw it on your website the other day. I was so excited.
So we're excited that it's available. And so for anyone, getting these probiotic modulating serums, we're going to be launching in a month a staph, basically a biome reset. So if you have a staph, too much staph, which is itchy, and those are kind of like these yellow crusty things on your skin, and you want to get rid of that, the applicator is absolutely perfect for these kind of small dose, highly effective microbiome changing products that we have.
Amazing. And you can use it for that and for the rest of your skincare routine as well. So you're not limited to one thing, but especially for these kind of products that Dr. Paulus is mentioning, especially important for those because of how effective and degradable they are. So you want to make sure you get the best of those products. So we're kind of coming to the end of our, it's just flew by. I always enjoy talking to you so much. I actually wearing my spatula as if as a jewelry because I was like, oh, it's a good way, it's a good conversation started for people. But if you do have product, I don't believe you have any products that are in jars, Doctor.
No, we
Yeah,
want everything to be as hygienic as possible
exactly.
for no fingers. Like we just wanted to keep fingers out of jars.
That's why we have so much synergy. But for truly for products that unfortunately there are some consistencies that cannot be put in pumps because they're too thick or so they have to come in a jar. Again, one of the things the FDA has, and you can check their website, is do not put your finger in the jar. It's like a petri dish where germs and bacteria grow, and especially with clean product, there is less preservatives. So they're more prone to making sure you keep it clean so they're not getting contaminated. And that's where the spatula comes. You just basically pick the product with the spatula and apply directly to the applicator. So you never get your fingers involved, you never contaminate the product itself, and you get the benefit of every drop. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for all the information. I'm really excited to announce our winner. I'm going to look through the people who signed up for the show and we will announce it by the end of the day. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. And so Michelle was so amazing that she came from San Jose. We saw her. Oh, I met her in LA when we were doing the Powder Group event in LA. And she looks at my badge and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're from San Jose!" Like, yay! Another, San Jose person. So, and I met with her, and she's just lovely. So, thank you so much. Please take advantage of these deals that we just mentioned. Again, Reset for for Codex Labs and Luna 25 for Lunaescent. And we will be announcing our grand prize winner, $450, which is amazing, by the end of today. And Dr. Paulus, what happens after they use the product and their skin, their acne is improved?
We
How do they maintain?
And we reset the skin, and then it's up to them to sleep, keep hydrated.
Okay.
Not put overly occlusive products so to make their skin oily again. But then it becomes maintenance. So we pretty much shift it, and then once it's clear, then we definitely, you just go into maintenance mode, and maybe with the supplement, you do it once every 3 months, just kind of as a booster.
Yeah.
Certainly not something you need to be on for the rest of your life. And then it's really just don't stress it and eat well, sleep well, exercise a little bit, and you should be fine.
Thank you so much. Yes, and all the products that Codex Labs have support that. So after you go from the treatment period, then the maintenance period, there are all sorts of products that support that, and you want to make sure you take advantage of that. You will also see the white applicator on their website, which is beautiful. And so thank you again for joining us, Dr. Paulus, and I'll see you around Bay Area.
Sounds great, Rana. You take care.
You.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.